What's up, Ragin Nation? How y'all doing? This is Alex. You watching a Ragin Ronin review. Got a review for you. Last Friday, I saw Fast and Furious 6, otherwise known as Fast 6, Fast and the Furious 6, or if you were paying close attention to the opening titles, it was actually called Furious 6. Now, it really doesn't matter what this movie is called because all you gotta know is that this is the 6th installment of the Fast and Furious franchise, made famous by director Rob Cohen. The second one was directed by John Singleton, but the next 4 after that were all directed by Justin Lin. And Justin Lin really changed the game for the entire franchise because with the third one, Tokyo Drift, he really brought in a new level of street racing, and that is with the concept of drifting, and he brought it to a whole new exotic location, that is Tokyo. With the fourth one, he brought in nothing but muscle cars. No more rice rockets, no more import tuners, muscle cars only, American muscle. Now with the fifth one, he changed the game once again by bringing it to a whole new level of action. Now we had a great story and great action, and big action, because it wasn't about street racing anymore. It was about, there was vehicle action, there was hand-to-hand combat, like well choreographed hand-to-hand combat, and also shoot-'em-up gunplay. And that was really cool because it was a perfect blend of all the different types of action genres. Now, he took that successful working formula and he brought it to the sixth one because he was asking himself, how can he make this one better? Well, let's take what made the fifth one work and let's bring in bigger, more ridiculous and crazy action. And that is exactly what he does. Now, before I talk about the action and how crazy it is, let's just talk about the story. With regards to the story, all you gotta know is that there are 3 plots going on. Now, you might think that the main plot is catching a bad guy. It really isn't. But the bad guy plot is that you have this bad guy by the name of Owen Shaw, played by Luke Evans, and he's after this device. What this device does, or why he wants this device, and what this device looks like, I don't really know, and I don't really care. It's so forgettable to the point where it's just an excuse to bring on big action sequences. Now, the other plot that I also don't even really care about, and that you should find quite forgettable as well, is really introduced at the beginning, and that is Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker. He has a son, and with his wife Jordana, played by Jordana Brewster, and then it's all about family, okay? The theme of family is so constant in the entire movie that it gets completely repetitive and just redundant, and it really means less and less, has less and less significance, okay? Because he constantly says, oh, we're family, okay? We're family, we do everything together. I can't do this job without them because we're a family. We're the best crew in the world, okay? And then, and it's really redundant, like I said, and another thing is that it's just so cliched because he says that, okay, I have a son, I can't do any more jobs. I can't do any more of these kind of jobs, and I can't get together with the crew anymore because I have a family. I gotta look out for what's best with my family, okay? Come on, man. If he wasn't gonna get into jobs, then there'd be no movie, okay? So, forget that. But the main plot that you need to know about, the main plot that really drives the movie really is Dominic Toretto connecting with Letty. Letty is back, and Dominic Toretto needs to know why, and they need to find out about what's going on, okay? And that is the foundation for this movie. It really is Toretto and Letty's movie, okay? Everything else really does not matter. But while they're trying to introduce a more emotional aspect into this film, this plot really wears itself thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner to the point of no return where you just do not care. I mean, really, as I mentioned before, these plot devices are just an excuse to bring on bigger and bigger and bigger action. And that's exactly what you should expect in a movie like this. It is not about great plot, and it's also not about great acting. Speaking of acting, yes, we got actors, we got actresses, and they act, they do their job, but it isn't about great acting, okay? You don't need great acting in a movie like this. You just need characters. You need actors to play the characters, and that's all they do. All the characters are back. When I say they're all back, I mean that all the characters that we've seen from the previous films, they're all back, including some really minor ones that we've seen before. They're all black. Not all black, they're all back, okay? They're all back, and that's kind of cool. I kind of like seeing the reunion, and with regards to the characters, I'm pretty happy with what they got. They even brought in some additional characters. Of course, they got Hobbs, played by Dwayne Johnson. They brought in Gina Carano, Hobbs' partner, and they brought in Luke Evans as a bad guy. Of course, you got Michelle Rodriguez, and everybody else is back, okay? And that is really cool. You brought in a whole mix of characters, okay? And each one has their own role. I mean, they even brought in one of the fighters, one of the bad guys, or one of the, not bad guys, but one of the martial arts fighters from the Raid Redemption. And having him, on board on this film, and also having Gina Carano, you know what's gonna happen. You know we're gonna have some great hand-to-hand combat, okay? And that's what we get. Now, I gotta tell you that with regards to the characters, I gotta explain who my favorite is and who is my least favorite. I'll tell you that my least favorite is Han and Giselle. Now, I liked Han in Tokyo Drift. I also liked them in Fast 5. Him and Giselle provide a good contribution to the story. But in this movie, Han and Giselle, they do nothing for me. There is no chemistry between the two, and also, theoretically speaking, if you wiped out all their scenes, deleted every single scene that Han and Giselle are in, it's the same freaking movie. Think about it. They really don't do a whole lot for the movie, to be completely honest. Come on. Really, those guys have no contribution whatsoever, okay? Even if you put their scenes in there, it's really just for each other, okay? Now, so I can wipe those guys out. They're a weak link. But I feel that, honestly speaking, Dwayne Johnson, his character, Hobbs, he's the guy who drives the story, okay? Like, he has a big presence, not just physically, but also, like, in a narrative standpoint. Because, you know, he's the guy who wants Owen Shaw taken down. He's the guy who gets, you know, the original crew back to take him down. And he's the one who you know, he provides a big physical presence in terms of bringing on big action, okay? So, he's definitely my favorite character. And, you know, when I'm watching him, I couldn't help but think that this feels like G.I. Joe in some way. Because when he puts on all his tactical gear, he looks like Roadblock. It's like Roadblock is in a spin-off movie of G.I. Joe. It's pretty funny. Anyways, let's talk about the action and the direction, okay? Justin Lin is the director, and like I said before, what he wanted to do with this one is that he wanted to take what made Fast 5 successful and bring it into here. So he's working in the same style of direction. But what he does is he makes the action crazier. And when I say crazier, I don't just mean bigger, but more and more over the top. Look, we already got over the top like action with the previous films. It was always over the top. But, you know what? He takes it to a whole other level beyond over the top, okay? Now, I'll tell you that if there's any one film franchise that is completely over the top, it is a certain trilogy, and that is the Transporter trilogy. This movie goes into that territory, okay? The movie just gets progressively over and over and over and more over the top to the point it's like beyond... Man, it feels like the Transporter trilogy. I mean, Transporter style of action, because you're watching it to the point where you feel like, that is impossible, okay? Like, or to the point where you're going, WTF? Like, how the hell can this happen? This is not physically possible, okay? Like, we got, like, totally gravity-defying, like, type of stunts. But anyways, even though the movie is completely over the top with regards to the action, I don't mind it, because it progresses, it's progressive, okay? So, it doesn't jump into it right away. You get, like, slowly introduced to it little by little to the point where, okay, you just accept it and you just enjoy the ride that it is, which I did. I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed the action. It's got a lot of action, and I loved it. We got all types of action. We had less shoot-'em-ups. I'll tell you that we did have less gun action. What we got more of is cool and well-choreographed hand-to-hand fighting. You're bringing in Gina Carano. You're bringing in the guy from Raid Redemption, and you're also bringing in a pro wrestler, okay? Like Dwayne The Rock, you know, Roadblock, you know, he does some serious stuff, okay? And it is a lot of fun watching them in action. Now, I gotta tell you that the tank sequence, everybody knows about the tank sequence. You see it in the trailers, okay? The tank sequence, I have to tell you, is probably one of the coolest and most exciting car chases I've ever seen in film history. Seriously, when you watch this, one thing I gotta tell you about Justin Lin's direction is that he really is a great director in terms of chase sequences. I've never seen camera placement and cinematography in that style before. If you really pay close attention to, for example, Michael Bay films, and anybody who's ever directed a great car chase sequence, I've never seen anyone shoot car chases the way Justin Lin shot that car chase. Like, the car chases throughout the entire movie. They're just so well beautifully photographed, and they look great. I have to say that that chase sequence with the tank might be one of the best car chases I've ever seen. It's really, really exciting, and yes, it is over the top, but it works. It totally works. Now, with regards to the final sequence, now, I have a lot to say about that, but it's more in the kind of like I accept it, but it's really incoherent. Like, it's kind of like Transformers Dark of the Moon. I apologize for all the fans that love Transformers Dark of the Moon, but you have to admit that the action is very incoherent. Like, there's so much stuff going on, like, in so many different places. The same is with the final sequence in Fast and Furious 6. There's so much stuff going on. There's, like, stuff going on the ground, there's stuff going on in the plane, and then there's stuff that, there's hand-to-hand fighting where you're fighting Bad Guy 1, and then he's not done with Bad Guy 1, but he moves on to fighting Bad Guy 2, and then Bad Guy 3, and then they all get together, and then... It's just crazy. It's very incoherent. It's very hard to follow. And I'm not just saying that it's hard to follow because it takes place at night and it's very dark. It's just hard to follow because there's so much going on. Okay? I'm not talking about shaky camera work. I'm not talking about like the fact that I can't see anything. I can see what's going on, but I'm just watching it for the sake of watching it because it's there in front of me. But really, the action is just all over the place to the point where I feel that like, man, they could have done a better job, like, just keeping it more connected. I feel very disconnected with regards to the action, but I'm watching it, and it is entertaining. It didn't quite lose me, but it still felt like it could have been done better. Now, one more thing that I gotta say about the action is that, I have to say that it is very convenient. That is the one key word. Everything is convenient, okay? When they need something done, something completely dangerous, like, they don't hesitate about it. They might go, oh, I don't know, but, like, eventually they'll do it. They are so, every character is so agreeable into doing, like, ridiculous stuff. They're just so agreeable, okay? They listen to everything that Dom tells them to do. And I find that a little bit, like, just too convenient, okay? They can get on top of a rooftop of a car, and then stand on a rooftop, go surfing on it, no problem at all, and then jump to another rooftop like it's nothing, and then it goes back into the other car like it ain't no thing. And then they also fight on top of rooftops of cars, and there's a lot of rooftop car fighting, and it's like nothing, okay? And Another thing is that why is this crew, like this crew of main characters, why are they so good at what they do? Okay, they can boost cars, they can drive cars, they can do all types of car stunts, and they're great at driving. We get that. That was all established in the previous films. But why are they so good at hand-to-hand combat? Why are they so good at shooting? Why are they so tactical? Why do they even have like special forces training? Like they all look like they all feel like they have some sort of ex-special forces training, like ex-military training, and they're not those type of characters. So I don't get why they know so much stuff. Why are they the best crew? And why does Dom need this crew? Okay, like when they pull out their guns, they're like ready for battle. They're very, very skilled, and they look really well trained. But why is that? This was never established with regards to these characters, but they are like that, and it kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this film. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Okay, fine, I don't love it. I love Fast 5 more. This movie is not as good as Fast 5, but it's close, okay? The thing that really made me feel like this is flawed in some way is that the whole over-the-topness and how everything is so convenient, okay? And I feel that Justin Lin really put out a very thin plot, and he focused a lot more on action, and it really brought it to like Michael Bay style, okay? So, but he did film the action a lot better than Michael Bay, okay? Like I said, the car chase sequence had great cinematography. These movies, don't forget where they came from, okay? Essentially, these are Fast and the Furious movies, and they don't forget that, okay? Justin Lin doesn't like just take it to like a whole nother level to the point where, you know, the franchise has evolved so much. They still remember the foundation of what built this franchise, okay? They always will remember that, and I think that that's a great thing, because we don't want it to stray too far off from the original. We do, but we don't forget its roots, okay? And there you have it. That's all I gotta say. 7.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed this film. Great popcorn fun. Check your brain at the door. I know it's a cliche thing to say, but you know, check your brain at the door when you watch these movies. It was a fun ride for me. This is summer popcorn blockbuster movie fun, okay? And that's exactly what you should expect, okay? 7.5 out of 10. As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, the Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter at Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Some Ragin Nation swag giveaway time. So you guys want some swag?
Absolutely. Yeah. Swag's
okay.
great. What swag? See, this is why you need to come to your first convention, my good man.
Exactly. Here we go.
Swag.